Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for Kamigami no Asobi episode 6. At this point, I am halfway done uploading for the show, and once that's done, the show will be complete for good, because as far as I know, we are not getting a season 2 for this show. I wish we could kind of get a season 2, because I would love to see where that would go, but it probably ain't gonna happen. Anyway, this episode essentially is focusing on Tsukito, the Japanese, I think it was the Japanese god of the moon. Cause yeah, Balder's the Norse god of light, Susanoo, and Tsukito. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think for a minute which was which. Cause yeah, this episode is more on Tsukito, I think. This time, instead of, because last episode was Susanoo, and the episode before that was Hades. Next episode is when things kind of get a little, on the weird side, and I mean weird as in, not what I expected when I was watching the episode, is what I should say. Anyway, this is the guy who apparently is obsessed with getting things perfect. And it's very, if he shows emotions, I can't tell. If you guys can tell when he shows emotions, let me know. But apparently he's supposed to be making sure that everybody is, you know, they're the dress code, doing the dress code right, they're not bringing anything they're not supposed to, blah, 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 blah. And apparently, he's been working on getting preparations for the moon viewing done every night, staying up all night, and then, you know, coming in early for that, so he hasn't been getting sleep. So while he's doing this, he ends up collapsing from lack of sleep. And apparently, according to Thoth, he's not been doing what he's supposed to be doing right. So, at this rate, he will not graduate if he keeps going down the path that he's going down. Because he's not really understanding humans with how he's doing things. And he will fail if he continues to do things the way he's been doing. And Loki gets the idea that he can help Tsukito understand humans, and he does this by putting 2 rings, one on Tsukito and one on Yui, and he says that those are lovers' rings, and when he does that, their hands are now stuck together and they can't pull them apart. And both Apollo and Susanoo get annoyed at this and try and pull them apart, which I found kind of funny because I know Susanoo is Tsukito's brother and all, but it kind of made me I thought it was amusing that Apollo didn't like the idea that Yui was stuck to Tsukito like that. And when they went to pull them apart, they both got shocked. Apparently, even now, Loki can't even pull them apart at this point. He can't even take them off. And the only way to get rid of the rings so they'll pull apart, is that they have to reach an understanding, and that's not really the way he puts it. I can't remember how he puts it, but apparently they are a couple now, and Tsukito has no idea what the heck he's talking about, what a couple is or anything, and I'm like, oh god. And, some of them try to explain it, and, Yui, ends up touching the ring, her own hand, and she gets shocked and falls into Hades. He gets shocked, and then it's a domino effect. He falls into somebody, they get shocked, and then it keeps going and going. And Hades like, oh, I brought misfortune to everybody. I'm like, it's not you, it's the rings. I was like, oh my god, this episode is just gonna be so bad with that. And anyway, Loki's trying to tell Tsukito essentially what couples are and what they do, and how, you know, like kissing, for example. And Tsukito's very blunt and essentially straightforward, yet he still doesn't understand. He has to explain to Tsukito what a kiss is, how it's lip-to-lip contact, and he ends up getting Yui to kiss him, even though she didn't really kiss him. It was just, you know, him initiating it. And it didn't seem like he really understood. I mean, all the other guys at least understand that much. He has no clue. But then again, later on he says that all he ever did before he came to this place was stare at the moon. Is that his job as the god of the moon? What's he supposed to do? Just stare at the moon all the time? You would think that would get boring. But, anyway, like I said, during the day, Apollo is getting really upset about this, and I think Balder's kind of getting a little bit upset about this too, but it kind of can't tell. It's mostly Apollo getting upset about it. With Yui being stuck to him. Susanu's getting upset about his brother getting stuck to her, obviously, but that's his brother, so it kind of makes sense. So I was thinking that was kind of funny, because that's kind of showing that Apollo still really has a thing for Yui, though he doesn't quite... He's not quite as outgoing about it. He did actually say, I think in episode 2? I think it was episode 2? It was either episode 2 or episode 3. When I think they were getting ready for the Seaside School, I think it was episode 3. That he loved her, and that he loved her for her, some of her personality points. Not technically love yet, but I think he's getting there to where he does have a thing for her. So he is really understanding humans and, the amount of love. I would have loved to have seen, instead of Dionysus being there, where was I? Anyway, during the day, they're trying to get everything ready for the moon viewing ceremony, and Tsukito even made a bench, but apparently he made a few, failed attempts at it. And apparently, Tsukito doesn't do anything but stare at the moon. Doesn't even eat, because apparently he doesn't think he doesn't know if food is delicious, so I don't think he eats. Can somebody explain some of this to me? But, later they end up coming to an understanding during the moon viewing ceremony, and the rings come apart, thankfully. Well, actually, before the ceremony started, they all come up in kimonos and everything, and I'm thinking, how did they get dressed? That's what I wonder about, because their hands are kind of stuck together, so how did they get their hands in the other sleeves associated with those hands in order to be dressed? Because I was like, how did that happen? And I don't think I want to know about them possibly getting dressed in the same room. Here's hoping that Yui had a little cover to hide behind while she was getting dressed. So, yeah, I have no clue how they could have possibly gotten dressed. Anyway, once the things come apart, Susanu and Apollo both go over, to check, and kind of pull the others away from each other, just so the stupid rings don't do it again. So, yeah, apparently, they came to a mutual understanding, which is what the rings were for. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure about... I don't know anything about Japanese mythology, so if you guys want to interject with some stuff, feel free to. And I hope you guys enjoy the reaction, and I'll see you next time.